Hey folks, all hot and sweaty this morning. We've been out picking tomatoes. We got a bumper crop of tomatoes. This is, I think, the third big picking that we've done, and I would say we're maybe a quarter done because there's still many tomatoes out there on the vine. But that's all right. We don't take it for granted because, anytime we could have a crazy hailstorm and just wipe everything out. So we're not going to let these early tomatoes go to waste. We're going to can them as soon as we can and get them put away. So in case something bad happens, we still got tomatoes. Now with that being said, let's get these inside and wash them up, and I'll tell you how you should can these. So let's discuss how I do my tomatoes, and we'll see if you agree. So I don't make pasta sauce, salsa, all that stuff, pizza sauce out of my tomatoes. I can them plain. And when you can them plain, the sky's the limit what you can turn them into. If you run out of pasta sauce and all you have left is pizza sauce or tomato sauce, of course you can make pasta sauce out of tomato sauce, but you're not locked in to what's sitting on the shelf. You're not running out of one thing and not having enough of the other. It doesn't take that long to throw in whatever spices you need to turn it into whatever you want to do. Or saute up some onions and some garlic and some jalapenos and throw it in there and turn it into salsa. It doesn't take long. So much more versatile if you can them plain. You can use them for a lot more stuff. You're possibly going to eliminate some waste because you're actually going to use it all up instead of kind of picking and choosing what you need off the shelf. So think about that. I think it's a good idea. It works for me. Another good idea is to develop recipes that you can come up with quickly based on a quart jar of tomatoes. I have a recipe for spaghetti sauce. I have a recipe for salsa. I have a recipe for some Mexican food, some goulash, some other stuff based on that quart jar. I have them written down and they're readily available in the kitchen for when I need a quick meal. I can run down the root cellar, grab me a jar of tomatoes and whip something up. Within 30 minutes, we have dinner. So write your recipes down. You can tweak them and keep them handy. And then all you got to do is grab a jar of tomatoes and go. You can see we're getting plenty of tomatoes now. So the preservation method that I showed you last week, I no longer need to do because I got enough fresh tomatoes coming off in one batch that now we can can these the traditional way, which is pot of boiling water. Then I got an empty pot there, and then I got a bowl to put my tomatoes in. When this is boiling, we're going to throw our tomatoes in there until they crack. It'll take a minute or two, and then I'll put them in here. Then I'll bring that bowl over here. We'll start slipping the skins off and coring them, and then I'll quarter them and throw them into this pot. And then once I get a little bit in the bottom of the pot, we'll get this pot going. And I'm going to start cooking this sauce down, cooking some of the liquid out. And that's how we do it traditionally. So we don't have to put them in the freezer anymore once we're getting big batches off. So this is what we turned all those tomatoes into. We got 16 quarts of tomatoes. And if you notice, these aren't separated. We don't have a bunch of juice down on the bottom and all the tomatoes floating on the top. Now, what causes that usually, like the preservation method we use in the freezer, you're going to get a little bit of that when you go to can those tomatoes. The reason being, the second you pick those tomatoes off the vine, the enzymes in those tomatoes start to get active and they start decomposing the flesh of the tomato, and you get a lot more juice released from the flesh. So with cold pack, with the frozen tomatoes like that, you're going to get a little bit of that separation. It doesn't hurt the tomatoes at all. They're not going to taste any different. It's just not as visually appealing when you got that layer of juice down in there. People think, ooh, that's nasty. But it doesn't hurt them at all. But if you like the tomatoes to look this way, if you pick them same day, bring them into the kitchen, wash them up, use the boiling water to slip the skins, and put them in the pot, and you start cooking that down right away, that kills the enzymes that cause that. And you're boiling off a little bit of that liquid in that pot right before you put them in a jar and you can them. So that's why they don't separate, because they don't break down quite as far. And I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's what causes it. So we got these tomatoes done, and we're going to get them down the root cellar. We already got 9 quarts down there. I don't know if we're going to be doing any more or not. I didn't do a canning video, the whole canning process, because there's 100 processes out there that you can watch. Basically all we did was cook the sauce down a little bit, cook some of the liquid out. Probably let it simmer for about 30 minutes after I was done coring and peeling everything. Like I said, you have that pot going as you're coring the tomatoes and quartering them. You start early and get that simmering. So about the time we got those 2 big baskets of tomatoes done, we simmered them about another 30 minutes and we started right into canning. So you can do that. So I hope this tip helps you out. Get out there and can them tomatoes. Don't let them go to waste. It's good stuff. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come on back and see us at Mark Kelly Farms. Remember our Facebook page, Mark Kelly Farms on Facebook. Go like that, like this video, because it helps the algorithm, and more people will see the video and we can help more people. It doesn't help me at all, because we're not making money on any of this. We're just helping people out. So see you guys.